I don't have the app on my phone, so I just put it on my iPad.
This looks like every single Snapchat you've ever sent me. It's just you're not singing in this one.
That's true.
A couple of beers in a minute, will.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Buschy and Bobo Show, a healthy scratch podcast. Here's your hosts, Kyle Busch and Brian Rager.
Welcome back. Episode 6 of the Buschy and Bobo podcast on healthyscratch.ca. We have a fun one today. The trade deadline's coming up.
I'm still swimming in this thing.
I know. Me and Brian's favorite holiday that isn't a holiday that should be a holiday.
Exactly.
We both may have the day off. Just a rumor.
Absolutely do.
Just a rumor.
My sources can confirm that.
Yeah. So we want to go through something really fun that we did over like the last week.
It's been a week. We started it
and we'll go through that, and we're going to do it towards the end. We have a few things we want to talk about. First of all, the one thing that I want to talk specifically to Bobo about is...
Which I have no clue about, I don't think.
Oh, yeah. No, you're going to know exactly. This is just the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. Okay, I'm going to show you this on the screen. For anybody listening, Bobo and I are in the same fantasy hockey league. Okay? Oh
God, I haven't settled my lineup in weeks.
I don't want to hear it. Okay, I don't want to hear it. I am going to show you the final score and how he is sullying our podcast name with his horrible 11-1, man.
Hey, there we go. We got a point on the board.
Yeah, game winners. Who cares? You got absolutely dinkered, buddy. I haven't even. And look at this. And look at this. And look at this. I ain't trying to embarrass anybody. But look at the standings here. 63 points.
So bad.
Called the healthy scratch. We got to rename that.
Yeah. It's honestly like having injuries sucks so bad, and having no IR spot.
It does suck. Because like I've like any Vancouver Canuck. You're screwed. Like, Peterson's been out for me for like forever.
Forever. And who knows how long they're going to be out now. Like that's.
But I've looked at
20
your
plus
team.
cases.
I mean, you should probably gas Hoglander, honestly, but Hayes, Kuznetsov, Gord, Lafreniere, Ovechkin, Hoglander, Eberle, Coyle, Puljujarvi, Pulock, Ekholm, Provorov, Dumba, Nurse, Laine, Gallagher, Malkin, Teravainen. Carter Hart's been terrible. Koskinen sucks. Braden Holtby shit. So your goalies are horrible. Yeah. But like the rest of the team isn't that bad. You just, there's a lot of guys hurt.
When I drafted my team, and you even said this too.
I liked it.
When I drafted my team, you said, yeah, it should be. Even when I was like, at the beginning, when I was a couple weeks, lose. You're like, I don't know what's happening. And then I made my deal for Ovechkin and Malkin there. And
yeah, but anyway, just had to chirp you a little bit.
I got to take this jersey off. I'm sweating like a monkey.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I'm feeling great. I feel really
and
good.
You're probably shit talking me because I can't even hear you if my headset's not on.
Peel it. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
He's back. Speaking of how horrible the Canucks are, they did something maybe good. You're the Canucks fan? Okay, yeah. Thatcher Demko, their goalie, got re-signed. We were talking about their terrible goalie, Braden Holtby. Their young guy, Thatcher Demko, who's basically been their number one all year, signed 5 years, $5 million a year. You love the deal. Okay, why?
Coming into this year, I didn't think we were getting Braden Holtby. And when I heard we were getting Braden Holtby, I thought it was going to be Stanley Cup winner Braden Holtby, not this one. Not this one. Yeah. Which I didn't like when we got hit him. I'm like, all right, you know what? Demko, another year to play the backup role. But originally I thought he was going to be our starter this year. We were going to be bad team. We're still are a bad team. He is going to be our guy moving forward. It solidifies that it leaves Holtby open for expansion draft, which I know when I talked to you about that, you don't think he's going there, and you don't think they're going to take him.
Well, I mean, they could because it's a year, maybe. Like you could, because it's just a year left, and maybe he turns into Marc-Andre Fleury for Vegas.
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen. I like Demko. It gives him that, like I said, that number one young goalie. Gives DiPietro time to develop in Utica and possibly come up as a backup in 2 years or so.
So how come they didn't give him a bridge deal?
I don't know.
2 years, 3 years to make him prove himself. You're putting a lot of stock into a guy that isn't a thing yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, who had a very successful.
Ovi agrees.
A successful playoff run, I would say. Obviously, Vancouver didn't do well in the playoffs, but a young goalie who was.
You're putting a lot of you're putting a lot of stock into a guy that you obviously they think that's the guy.
On a 2-year deal, say you do that, and he's an absolute stud. Goes
now you got to pay him $9.
Then,
well, no, I would say you do a bridge. I don't know. Would he be bridged to be an RFA again? That's what they would try to do. But so they're going 5. So like, okay, we don't want to give you 8. We'll give you 5.
We'll give you 5 at 5.
And 5 isn't bad. $5 million is not that bad. If he turns out to be like a really good player, then that's a good deal for them. So
like Demko is how old? Like he's 20 something.
He's young. He's early 20s now. 25?
He's 25. So he's 30 years old. So as a goalie, that's what.
Yeah. So he wouldn't be
entering his prime. And I don't know. I'll say I like the deal. I'm a big fan of it. It's the positive thing, and not just the positive COVID tests that are going in Vancouver right now.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't even know if we want to get into that right now.
I just want to say 20 plus cases. They're not playing for, they said at least a week, but.
Well, they said they could, even if they could flex it to the end of the year. Maybe the North Division has like the playoffs get pushed back a bit.
Yeah. The US would still play, but just the North Division would be pushed. But
I think they had plans for if something like this happened, and I think it'll be okay. But yeah, that sucks.
But Vancouver, it sucks. But it is what it is. I know we don't want to spend much time on that. It was just a great segue to bring that up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Another thing I'm not a big fan of is watching I was gonna say watching the Red Wings games, which it's hit and miss. I mean, they destroyed Tampa the other night. I couldn't believe it. But Fox Sports Detroit changed to
no. There's no more Fox Sports Detroit.
They changed to Bally Sports, which I'm always going to call it Bally.
Sports. Yeah, it's Bally Sports.
Bally Sports Detroit. And like big deal. Like everybody's the same. They still got the same announcers and the same crew. It's just like different logo, whatever. But what they did,
and
a thing that like would have just got nitpicky on it. And it's something where I think, I don't know, networks have tried this in the past. They had their score ticker on the bottom of the screen, which bothered me so much. And it
looks like the NHL video games, like the EA video games.
It's throughout the whole thing. Now, the thing that sucks about that is when it was up at the top, it was something where it never got in the way of the play. When it's at the bottom, it can be like by the boards where the puck would be, and now the stupid score is in the way. And for some reason, like 3/4 of their thing is like about games that aren't going on right now. I don't care. I'm watching this game. Sometimes do it in a different spot. But
do you think because I was doing a little thing here on the side while you're doing your rant, obviously Bally's or Bollies, it's the corporation getting into the casino side of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Bally's.
Well, there you go.
Corporation. So, do you think that's part of the reason? Obviously, doing all that, but it's always going to be Fox Sports to me. No matter what the stupid B logo there says and whatnot. Just like the Rogers Center's the Sky Dome and all that. It is annoying. It's like I said, I didn't like that change in the EA Sports video game, but now we got it on TV.
Right. Last thing we want to mention before we bring up our fun trade stuff is so 2 superstars got in a little bit of I don't want to say hot water, but did a few things where they got away with things that someone else wouldn't have. Not so nice things. So first one, we'll say Connor McDavid just absolutely threw the tip of his olecranon process, his elbow, right into just Barry Kotkaniemi's temporal bone and just ran right at him and just elbow right in the face. He got Hey,
foreshadowing that.
Shut up. We're doing a podcast. You dumb dog. I can hear you too. I think she's cooking, so it's fine.
Oh, there you go. It's he's just like getting ready for that next McGregor Poirier fight there, just throwing elbows and ready for
So that was he only got fined $5,000. Now I want to give credit where credit's due.
The league.
I love that Not Danny Heatley account on Twitter.
Yeah.
He says he's like, if I was McJesus, I would just slap down 10 grand and say, here's another 5 for next time. Like that's penny. The guy makes like $12 million. It's such a joke.
Absolutely.
But then the other one, and there's nothing to debate. He elbowed the guy right in the head. It was in 10. Nathan McKinnon, talk about a 10. Okay. It was Connor Garland on the Coyotes. They got a little scuffle and Garland's helmet like came off because I think like McKinnon kind of wrapped him up a bit. It popped off, and as he was backing up, McKinnon just like underhand like chucks it at him right at his head. Like, holy shit! Like you can't do that. But
playing cornhole with the guy's bucket.
Yeah, I'm actually going to post our interview with a 16-year-old Nathan McKinnon, where he was slightly less pissed off. He wasn't showing it, but they lost 10-3.
They lost 10
in the U17s. We'll post that one as an
article. We played a little bit about it. I know on our first one, but since now that we have some things going now in the hopper, and we'll be able to get that posted up and have some if you want to have a good laugh.
Right. So moving on into our trade deadlines, the big meat and potatoes of this whole thing.
This is our meat and potatoes.
Do you want me to describe kind of how we came up with this?
Yeah. So obviously going into the trade deadline, you have your main sources, your TSN, top 25.
Fourth period's kind of cool too.
Fourth period. Yeah. I used them a little bit too when I was going through, I was filming a video yesterday, just sort of going through TSNs quickly and fourth periods.
Yeah.
But then I was a dummy and realized I didn't have my audio going. So
good for you.
I scrapped that. But yeah, just going through that like fourth period, had NHL stuff and like NHL.com and going through that. But
so the thing is like
I like how we did for ours.
But I didn't. What I was saying is I didn't look at any of that stuff because I wanted to get like an actual. It's now like some of the guys are going to be, yes, how we did ours. It's going to be similar, but so what we did, and I mean, I don't really want to screen share it because it's just a jumble of crap and nobody's going to care. Is we went through one day on first the standings. What we tried to do is identify who's a buyer, who's a seller, who's kind of in between. Okay, so
what are your top 8
for what?
For like buying and sellers, or
no, like guys that are in the teams in the playoffs or buyers or that are close to the playoffs. Sellers were ones that were just, they're not going to make it. Detroit, Buffalo, Anaheim, all these teams, right?
Yeah.
So what we did is we went through the buyers, and what we did is identified like what they would need. So we went through.
We used their cap friendly and their daily face off. We looked at the lines, their injuries, all that. Where would it make sense to where, hey, do they need a center? Do they need a winger, defenseman? But then, like you said, we use the cap friendly as well.
Right. So with the cap friendly, we actually looked at the deadline cap space for each buying team. And then for all the sellers, we went through and went, okay, who's unrestricted and would maybe fetch something of value? Let's write them down. What's their cap hit? And there were some guys in there, not a ton, but a few, maybe like 2 years. Maybe a player that term. Yeah, like that maybe won out. But so we went through there, made a little chart where we actually could use a little X on an Excel sheet and pick what teams would be interested in each type of player, depending on if it's a right wing, what their cap hit is, what line do they fit on. If you need a second line guy, well, don't go for the fourth liner. Like, so it was interesting because there was a lot of like matches where we're like, okay, we can try and figure out where some of these guys are going to end up. At the same time, what me and you both did is we came up with our list, and me and you, Buschy and Bobo's top 25 trade deadline available players, we'll say.
But the way to get to that list,
we each did our own. So we got a Buschy list, we got a Bobo list. Now, the interesting thing is it worked in a way that we got a little lost in translation because I kind of said, do your top 20 or 25.
Yeah.
What I did I did literally by like talent, like the top players available. Here's who they are. You went more with who do you think is going to get moved, the most likely to get traded?
Moved that, and I used it as a top 20, top 25
in
for
that,
the deadline.
Right. And in that way, we took the average of each position, what ranking they were. So say a guy was, we both said they were third overall. They're going to be third on the overall list. If you had a guy 20 and I had the guy 1, he's going to be 10. So we moved it around. So we have
the cool thing about that too is, like you said, we took two different, like, I never saw your list before. You never saw mine.
Right.
And then before, obviously, we started doing this recording, we go through, we average it out, we make our final list. And it was sort of cool, like how we had some of the guys in the same spot, some were the same general area, considering we had took two different approaches at this.
Yeah. And the thing is we'll go through here and we can even say where we each kind of ranked those players. Yeah. But this is the average, and we can go through it. We'll go like 1 to 25. We'll go all the way down. And one thing that we are going to do too with these players is try to predict where they're going to go, if anywhere. So I have a few where I think they're going to stay, or it might be an off-season trade, or I'm going to pick a team where they might end up. So using the list that we generated and the needs that we saw in these teams, the cap hit, the cap space, all of that, putting all that into account, this is how we kind of came up with it. So we might have a few where we think they're going to the same place based on what teams need what. Okay?
Yeah, based on what we use for the salary cap there.
And what I did too, Bri, is like, in some of these where I thought players were going to go, I did kind of consider someone's cap space. So if someone was going for a guy and
that was a big thing,
room for one, then I would, they're not going to go after whoever. So that was kind of the guess that I took. But what I want to see is during our trade deadline show, just with the team needs and like what player might go where, I want to see if, like, say if we had 3 or 4 teams on a guy's list, how accurate we got. Not to say we're experts, because we're definitely not, but any dummy can do this, right? Okay, so number 1 on Buschy and Bobo's trade deadline available players list from the Anaheim Ducks, Rickard Rakell. So
and I had him at number 1 on my list.
And I had him at number 4, okay? So, and we got the available teams that we think, well, actually, let's go with where you think he's going to end up. Where do you think he's going?
Rakell, where did I say there? I said Carolina.
I also said Carolina. So we both think he's going Hurricanes because they need a winger. They need a top guy. And I think that's something that'll put him over the top. They have the cap space to do it. Right. And I mean, he's UFA, right? So
he could be that piece that, like, when we were going through their cap friendly, obviously, like their daily face off, looking at the daily lines and injuries. He's someone that I felt fit right in that situation. And we talked
with Randy last week about Rakell with the Ducks. And I mean, geez, if you can fetch, like with the Hurricanes, maybe if you can get a first from them, can you think you get a first for Rickard Rakell? Maybe. I mean, you're getting a second for sure.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
At least a second.
Or give me a second and a prospect, and I'll give you him, right? Because I don't think he's coming back. He's 27 years old.
27 years old. He's going to be leaving.
Yeah. Number 2 on the list, from the dumpster fire known as the Buffalo Sabres, we have Taylor Hall. Brian and me had him rated both at 3, but with the way that things averaged out, he was actually number 2 on our list. Because my number 2 and Brian's didn't line up at all. But Taylor
Hall,
where
did you have him going?
Who's that?
Where do you have Hall? Do you think Hall's getting
3?
traded?
Oh, where is he getting traded? I think Hall is going to Boston.
See, I said Florida.
Okay, fair enough. Because I have another bigger player that I think is going to Florida, and they wouldn't have the space for both. But the reason why I think Boston, I just feel like it's a Boston move for them to do that, even though it's same division, right? I think he's a player that would help the Bruins. And although I don't know if that really puts them over the top, I think the Bruins probably need a defenseman more than anything.
See, I went Florida.
It's such a Boston move, but Florida, I mean, I could see that happening.
I have another big player going to Florida as well.
When we get to the player that I think is going to Florida, I'll explain why I think they need him more than Taylor Hall. But that's why I think he's going Boston.
So it's interesting though. Like there's our first, second player first. Oh my God, difference.
Right. So number 3 is Mattias Ekholm from the Nashville Predators. Yeah. I had him ranked number 7.
And I had him at 4.
At number 4. So he still has another year left on the contract. The reason that he would get dealt is because of the expansion draft with Seattle. They're going to have to probably expose him because they want to keep Dante Fabro and probably Ryan Ellis and Yossi, right? Those are your 3. So you're probably going to let Ekholm be exposed. If I'm Seattle, I'm taking him. So trade him now, get something for him. So now where do you see him ending up?
I know we had only
because he's getting. I think he's getting traded like for sure.
Yeah,
I think he's getting traded at the deadline for sure.
We had one team in our list that would have him fit, which would be Florida. But I went totally off the board. I said Winnipeg.
Okay, the Peg, yeah, because they do need that defenseman. I mean, that's the thing with COVID is like the if you're getting traded across border, right, going to Canada, he's gonna have to like quarantine for a week. Like Stahl's playing his first game like tonight, I think, for the Canadians.
For the Canadians, right? Yeah.
But hey, you're getting another year out of him too.
Yeah, and that's what I saw it as, because Winnipeg, have a pretty solid team. So
do you think that teams could make, like, do you think there'd be a bidding war for Mattias Ekholm, knowing that, like, teams knowing that they would like have to give him up for nothing in an expansion draft? Do you think they'd be like, well, no, I'm not giving you a first round pick? Like,
I guess it all depends on who you are as the GM, what you
want to know something. And here's my Buschy. Here we go. Buschy's wisdom of the day. Okay. If you're making a trade in the NHL, all you need is one dummy general manager to trade with you. And you don't need the other 29. You just need one.
You know where that dumb general manager is?
Kevin Cheveldayoff.
I was gonna say Edmonton, but
okay. Well, you said Winnipeg, so
yeah, Winnipeg. Yeah, Cheveldayoff. Yeah,
I think he's good. I think Cheveldayoff's a good GM.
Winnipeg. So I had him going. So I think Winnipeg might try to do something with him.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's a little off the board, but I had Florida just because it was one of those where it just matched up, I thought, pretty good with them. But okay, number 4 from the New Jersey Devils, Kyle Palmieri. So there's reports that they're looking at doing an extension, but some of the beat writers are thinking like that ain't going to happen with the Devils. He's been there for a while.
He's been there for a good while there, right?
Yeah, I had him ranked number 8. You had him ranked number 7.
7, yeah.
Again, if someone's wondering, well, how the hell is he 4 on your overall list? It's because my number 2 was way lower on Brian's list and there's a reason for it. So it averages out. Don't worry about the math. We figured it out.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to rack our brains for it.
We used a calculator.
We did. Did you know that a phone has a calculator? It's basically a computer.
You know what? I like to go old school right here.
There you go. I mean, I'm going old school with the Campbell Conference All-Star jersey, but
and I'll go old school calculator.
Where do you think?
I'm going to Boston.
You think I have him kind of going to Boston too?
Move.
I feel like this is one where it's a smokescreen by like the agent. I think he's going to stay in New Jersey. So that was my choice. I know Boston would be a good fit for him too. Again, Taylor Hall, I thought is going to Boston. I'm thinking Nick Palmieri might actually re-sign with the Devils. I don't think that's the best move for New Jersey to do. I just feel like that was kind of a smokescreen saying, well, extension, not getting there. I think he'll re-sign. That's my guess. Not that I know anything.
So I think it's a Boston move for him to go. Like it'd be a Boston move to trade for him.
Yeah, I think he would be a good Boston player too. Next on the list is a guy that already got traded this year, Patrick Laine of the Columbus Blue Jackets, formerly Winnipeg Jets. Now, I had him ranked number 2. Bobo had him ranked
14.
Okay. Now, you're probably going, Bobo, what the hell, man? Which is what I was thinking. This is where we kind of figured out Brian went more who he thinks is going to get traded, not who's the best players on the list. I went more who's the best guys on this list that are available. He went with more who's going to get traded. So you obviously don't think he's getting moved.
No, it's like I said, I do have him on a team here. Like obviously we went through our thing and he's on our list there. Like I was saying, I'm going way off the board and thinking that the Islanders are going to make a move for him.
So the Islanders are going to go after Line, and they're going to go after, who did you say?
It was in the other guy's not even on our board.
Wait, no, you said Florida's going after.
I said Florida is going after Hall.
Wait, who's
I'm
going
talking
after?
Islanders. Islanders.
Oh, Islanders. Okay, I'm dumb. Oh, well, I'm thinking of something different. We're gonna get to.
Yeah, you're thinking of the other thing.
Yeah. See, when I said smart, I lied.
Yeah, dummy. Yeah, so I think, like I said, I think he gets traded and goes to the Islanders.
Okay, I think. With Line, I think he's staying. Yeah. I think Kekalainen, like with Columbus, I think he's staying just because, like, okay, listen, everyone is in John Tortorella's doghouse. Like, now it's Jack Roslovic, the guy that came with Line, got healthy scratched. It's like, dude, I know you're the coach, but like, you just like, what are you doing? Like, stop. Anyway, that's just what that's torts,
if
man.
Tortorella stays, he's gone. If they plan on keeping Tortorella around, he's going to be gone.
Well, then I would say more off season. Then I don't think he's going at the deadline.
Because I was looking around, maybe seeing Florida possibly making a move for him, but I said with me putting Hall in Florida.
But you think he's going to New York with Barry Trotz in a defensive system? Good luck with that. That might be a worse fit than Columbus. I could argue that.
It's something I would say. We'll get into a little more later on. But
all right.
I don't know. For some reason, I like seeing. I could picture Line A in that blue and orange.
Okay. Number 6 on the list, blue and gold, Jack Eichel. So there's been rumblings about Jack Eichel getting moved, and he's not playing right now because I think he's hurt. We'll say hurt. Yeah. So on my list, I had Jack Eichel as number 1 on the trade list.
And I had him at 16, and that's where we said, and that's where that difference comes in. Right. So you said best available player who's available at market.
Right.
I said, do I think he's going to get moved? So
I don't think he's going to get moved at the deadline. I have him getting moved in the off season, and we'll get to that as well later. So do you have him going anywhere or no?
If he does get traded at the deadline, I see one team picking him up.
Okay. Are you going to ruin it for me?
No.
Or am I going to talk about it? Do you have the same team that I do?
Nope.
Really? Okay. Let's hear it.
I have Florida.
What if Florida's getting everybody?
They have, because right now, like when we did it, they had 13 mil in cap space. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Eichel's making 10, Hall's making 8.
Here's the thing, though. You're not taking into account that Aaron Ekblad's on IR, are you?
Shit.
You're not. So here's the thing: is I was going to bring that up for a different guy.
Doesn't cap friendly bring up that? Doesn't that count that in the deadline?
Well, he wouldn't count against the cap.
Oh, true.
For the deadline, but this guy's signed for another 6 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just arguing against it because that's a 6-year contract.
No, that's true.
So I don't think he fits because you got all these other guys that you're going to have to pay, right? So like I'll say who I think the Florida Panthers really need. I don't think where is he on our list? We'll get to him in a little bit.
So that was if he does get traded, that's where I thought he'd go.
Okay. Yeah.
Do I really think he's going to get traded? Probably not.
No, I think it's off season, and I'll tell you, I got a bold trade.
Yeah.
Number 7, David Savard, another Columbus Blue Jacket. I had him ranked lower at 16.
I had him at my number 2 spot.
Now, explain why you had him at number 2.
I have no clue. Like I was just looking some stuff, like looking up his contract there. It's 4.3 mil, one like UFA, but just that veteran guy, right? Like let me pull up his.
He seems like a nice playoff guy to have on your blue line because looking at the other guys that are really available that are more like rentals. I think he's the best. He's a rental, but like Zach Holm's not a rental. He's going to go there for a few years. Of all the rental players, you know, I can see you thinking that. Yeah. I mean, really looking at it now. Yeah. I mean, I think there's someone that's kind of like pretty good as well. He's on the list, like right after Savard. But so now I have him staying in Columbus. I think if I'm the Blue Jackets, I got to bring this guy back. That's what I want to do because he's part of my core D. You've got Seth Jones, Zach Werenski, and then it's him. Like that in my mind, that's who my third guy is. Like if I'm thinking of
Columbus is in almost not a whole rebuild, but in a.
I don't know, man. I think you got to keep him. I think it's like and I don't want to compare Zach Werenski and Seth Jones to Lidstrom and Rafalski, but if that's your top pair, David Savard is your Nick Cronwall on a Stanley Cup team. I think you have to find a way to keep him, but I think that's something where they have to use,
and that's where I think Colorado.
Florida. Everybody goes to Florida. Colorado. Okay.
Colorado.
That's fair, because we're going to get to this next one. We can talk about the Avalanche. So Brandon Montour is our number 8 on the board from the Sabres. So technically I had him ranked number 9. You had him at 10. So we're in lockstep.
Okay, at least you have where I have him at there.
I think he's going to Colorado. I think he's a Colorado player too. I definitely agree with you that maybe Savard could go there. I think one of those two.
As well.
Okay, so I don't think they're going to get both, but I see them both fitting
one of those guys.
If they get one of those, now we're geniuses. Now we've turned it around, right?
Yeah.
But I agree with that. I can see Savard doing that. I was just stepping in as like Columbus, and I went, man, and for the trade that you're going to be talking about, I'm keeping him, because now we're retooled. And again, we'll get to that. We're teasing it, man. We're teasing some crazy shit here.
Half chubbed.
Oh yeah. Rounding out. No, actually not rounding out the top 10. At number 9, we have a Detroit Red Wing, Bobby Ryan. 1 year, $1 million. I had him ranked number 13. You gave him a little bit more props.
Yeah. What I have him at there? I had him at
number 9.
9. Yeah. There we go.
So now we had a bunch of teams.
We had 4 teams there on our.
And there's probably more, because he's so cheap. And like, we specifically did it by his position. Yeah. But could you put him on the other side wing? Yeah, you could. You left, right, whatever.
I like his contract. I like they said that like it's a good cheap contract, and for the teams that we had there, I could see him fitting in a lot of those, like in most of them. But the one I think where he would go would be Washington.
I have him with the Capitals as well.
Holy
so look at that. Boom. Washington Capitals. So I mean, that's something where actually, no, I didn't say Washington. Oh. I could see that. I said Winnipeg, but Washington, I was thinking W. I'm back to being stupid. It's a theme, boys.
There we go.
Winnipeg. I thought Winnipeg, just because they could maybe use a guy on the wing. Washington makes a lot of sense too. Washington makes sense because, hey, why not? A veteran guy, good locker room guy, pick him up, right?
For that push, that good playoff push there for a deep run. Yeah, sure. I could see him.
Throw him on a second line power play, not front. He's a big body. He's got good hands, right?
He's got a silver medal.
He does. I love those videos, man. They're so
those
funny.
Are great.
With Getzlaff and
yep.
Yeah. Rounding out our top 10, we got from Calgary, Johnny Gaudreau. The only reason is because now I know we talked so highly of Calgary because I thought Sutter's going to turn them around. We both thought they're making the playoffs. I ain't making the playoffs, man. We were wrong. We were absolutely wrong.
No.
So I think if there's a guy that they could move to try to retool, it'd be Johnny Gaudreau. Now, I don't want to spoil where I think he's going to go because, again, teaser, we're talking about that later.
Do you have it as a deadline deal or
off season?
Okay, so I have him as a no trade.
Oh, he's just going to stay in Calgary.
He's going to stay. Again, when I was doing this, I was thinking more deadline. Where are they going to go at deadline? So I don't think he gets traded.
I think he's just on that board because he is a good player, and who knows? I mean, if they want to do something with him and retool, but I think more of a retool would be in an off-season situation with guys that have term on their contract, like Gaudreau. Yeah. At number 11, we've got another Red Wing, Luke Glendening.
Yeah, I think I had him at 6 on my list.
I had him at 17. I'm a Wings guy. Now, what you can sell is number 1 in faceoffs in the league. That's not nothing, okay? You're starting with the puck more times than not. You can put him out on the offensive zone, let him win a faceoff. Like, they're using him at the end of the game, goalie pulled type situations to win a faceoff in the offensive zone. And most of the times he's winning it. But he's a fourth line guy, like manageable cap hit, like, was it 1.6, something like that?
Yeah, 1.8.
1.8. And so there's probably a lot of teams that would be lining up for him.
I know we had 3 on ours. I was debating between 2 teams. One of them was one of the ones that we had marked there, Vegas, and then I had the Islanders as well.
Okay.
But when it came down to it, I think Vegas.
You think Vegas is going to go?
I think Vegas would make a run for him.
I went off the board with this. It wasn't one that we had on our needs list. I just went strictly on relationships. I think he's going to the Oilers. I think Ken Holland will overpay for him, and I hope Yzerman takes it from him.
And I could see that 100%.
Pick. You traded Kyle Quincy. You traded a first to get Kyle Quincy. Give me a first take for Luke Glendening.
You know what?
I hope he's stupid.
I could very much see that happening.
Yeah. At number 12, another Red Wing, Mark Stahl.
Okay. Yeah, we're just going down the
Red Wing list. Right now. I had him at number 11. You had him at 15. Yeah, at 15. So I think something that I never thought would happen is when they got that contract in the offseason, they traded they basically gave up nothing to take Stahl, but they got a second round pick as well. I'm like, great. Extra second is always nice. I thought Stahl would honestly be like a healthy scratch. He would get buried. But here's the thing. He's been playing with Troy Stetcher on a line. And
that's something you've been mentioning a couple of weeks now.
Their advanced statistics are like pretty interesting. Stetcher's making him look good. It's basically what's happening. He's got like 3 goals on the year, I think.
But that's what you want, right? You want
points.
If Stahl's going to be a guy you're looking to deal, you want him to look good. So
I think he's a player that was good 10 years ago. I think that was the NHL he was good in. I don't know if it is now, but if you're looking for a guy that's just on your back end and you can throw him on the bottom pair, a team that I could see maybe popping for Mark Stahl would be like St. Louis, the Blues on the back end.
You went off the board there then.
I did, yeah. So I think maybe the Blues could use someone like him that they would look at. I mean, they wouldn't have to, the whole COVID thing. So I don't know. Where do you think he would end up? Because I think he gets traded for sure at this point.
I stayed on our list. It would, when we were going through the list on where do we think they could go, like who needs the defenseman? We suppose it's a very Boston-like move to try to get that defenseman.
I know that we
almost Charles-ish, like, right? Like he has that grit and all that, but
he's just slow. The thing is, we had Boston needs a lot, and the thing is, I think they're still in that like we are going for it now, even though, I don't know if they really have it.
Yeah,
they need forwards, they need a defenseman, like they need everything. So we had them on there a lot, so it is justifiable to say. But I mean, if we,
I think I see, like you said, St. Louis, and I could see St. Louis making a move for him.
I'll say, spoiler alert, I only have Boston picking up Taylor Hall because that's all they can afford. So I went with that. But yeah, I could see it. I mean, it's a fit. It's definitely a fit, right? Moving forward.
Another Red Wing.
Guess what? Another Red Wing. Jonathan Bernier, the first goalie, and I think the only goalie we have on
the I think he's our only goalie on the in our list here.
Yeah. I had him at 12. You had him at 17.
Had him at 17. Yeah.
So Bernier, he's hurt right now. He's coming back soon. He has a winning record on the Red Wings, which shows you how bad Thomas Greiss is. I mean, Calvin Pickard out a few wins.
I thought Greiss was going to be their 1A because I don't think they have a starter backup. I think it's a 1A 1B situation. Play the hot hand.
But it's not. Bernier's number 1. He's the guy. And I mean, if the Red Wings, a lot of people are thinking like, they're going to trade him.
I don't have him getting traded.
I can see Yzerman re-signing him for another year because there's really no one coming. They got Grace for another year, I'm pretty sure. If he's going to go somewhere, I have him going to Washington. And the reason is the Capitals have 2 young goalies in Samsonov and Vanacek. And although they've been playing really well, I think you can never have enough of that. Maybe I don't really see he's older because Bernier's only like 32 or 33. Seems like he's been around for a long time.
He's an experienced goalie. He's been
around since LA. He was like 19 and he was playing, but like, he's playing really well. And I mean, he did well last year too on a bad team. Like he had no goal support. I mean, they're getting outshot 40-10 every game.
Yeah. So his numbers are very good. I feel for a team
on a bad team.
On a bad team. Yeah,
exactly.
And like you said, just because Detroit doesn't have anyone coming up, and
you might want to.
What else are you going to do? Get him back on a 1-year deal or so. Yeah. So I don't see him getting traded.
I really agree with you on that one. I just was looking at fit, and if I'm Washington, I might throw a little bit at you to get him. I mean, if they're not confident in their rookies,
I could definitely see that. Like, say, get that veteran goalie,
just in case,
experienced guy, just in case.
Yeah. Moving on from the Red Wings train here, at number 14 we have Erik Halla. Where's he playing right now? I don't even know.
Somewhere.
Carolina? No.
No. Why would we wouldn't have him on Carolina.
Minnesota? Vegas. I don't even know. I really don't know.
Erik Halla is in Nashville.
Wow. Whatever. That's why he's 14 on the list. I had him ranked. You did not. So I think Hall is probably going to end up with the Penguins. I think they're a team that would go for someone like him. I think the Penguins are in this weird thing where it's like they still have Crosby, Malkin's hurt, but like they're still somehow trying to go for it, where they're in that weird thing where they should be retooling at this point. I mean, we've heard rumors of Crosby getting traded, remember?
Yep.
Like these crazy trades where it's like he ends up in Colorado. It's like, are you kidding? How?
Could you imagine if he was
like what
Colorado?
You'd have to give up for Colorado? Well, yeah. To give up like a bunch of firsts and prospects. But dude, are you kidding me? It's like instant cup.
I did go through and except since I went through all the guys and see if I do think they're going to get traded. I had him going to Arizona.
Okay, I mean that's a good spot for him too. I really think I'm not going to argue that with you. A guy that you had on your list really high that I didn't even have on mine was Granlund. Now, yeah, you had him at 5. I didn't have him ranked.
Yeah.
Now, I don't really have anything with him going anywhere, but where would you think he ends up if he gets moved?
I think I had him as a no trade.
A no trade at 5? Okay. I mean, that's something where with that
available, I was debating like Arizona.
So here's my question, and this is the only one that I'm really confused with. So how come you're having him at 5 if he's not getting traded? Like, how is he better than all the guys we just went through?
I honestly don't know. I may have misplaced him on my list, or because I was doing this during work.
Or he's a stud. Yeah, Brian's a busy guy. We both have jobs.
See, we're a computer off right now.
I was just like, yeah, there we go. Yeah, but I mean, if he gets traded,
if he does get traded, I would say,
like looking at Minnesota. Teams that would need a guy. Yeah, I mean, wasn't he there? Or was it the other Granlund? I know there's 2. There's Google 2. Wasn't there? Is there one with like Vancouver?
Cal Granlund. Yeah, he played for Minnesota before. I could see him going back to Minnesota.
Yeah. Sure. Moving on. Now, this one's interesting, okay? Because we're getting down to the lower ones where it's like, who cares? Okay, Rasmus Ristolainen, Buffalo Sabres. So he's still got a few years on his deal. He's got 2 left. I had him ranked as my number 2. You had him ranked as number 9? Or no, I lied. I had him 16. You had him
I don't think I had him.
It says 2 for
No,
you.
I didn't. Savard was my 2. I didn't have him ranked.
Oh, okay. I put... Oh, I'm looking at Savard. I'm an idiot. Risto, where are you, buddy? Oh, never mind. I had him at 6. You had him not ranked. I was looking at Savard. I think Ristolainen is going to get traded. Spoiler alert for later. How many spoiler alerts has that been?
4 or 5.
Yeah. So now reason
you don't think it's a deadline deal though.
I don't think so, because he's got another year left. They don't have to do it now. They can get more for him when the term is gone, and then they have a year left. So I think he is going somewhere just in the off season. Okay.
I had him as no trade.
Yeah. 17. We got Ryan Dzingel, Ottawa Senators again, right?
Yep.
I didn't have him ranked. I'm not sure what you had him.
I had 6, 7. I had him 8.
I don't have him
because he's 28 years old. He's still.
I don't have him going anywhere. I don't think they can get really anything for him.
See, I had him Minnesota.
He got traded to Ottawa. It's like, I don't know, man.
Minnesota just picking up just to make a hockey move or make a move.
Okay.
So he still has some legs in him.
You want to kind of fly through these last ones?
All right.
Because I don't really care about a lot of these guys, to be honest with you. Yeah. But we can say where we ended up. So Tanner Pearson, number 18, Vancouver. So nope. You don't have him going anywhere?
No, I think anyone's staying away from Vancouver with the 10-foot pole right now.
Right. If he was to go somewhere, I got Minnesota being a fit because they need a winger. But yeah, with COVID, yeah, I don't know what's going on
there. I think everything right now, anyone is avoiding Vancouver.
Yeah. Next one we got is Sami Vatnan with the Devils. This guy is always on a 1-year contract and always available at the deadline. Where do you think he's going?
I have Florida.
Yeah, Florida. I have Florida. I mean, he can go anywhere. I didn't have him ranked, so I didn't put a team. Cody Eakin, I had him ranked 18. You had him 19. I have him going to Washington because I think they would like some depth in the third and fourth line.
Cody Eakin. I think I had him going back to Vegas.
That could work too. I mean, didn't they trade him though? Why did they trade back for him? Or did they leave, or did they let him go? Maybe they let him go in free agency or something. Maybe it was free agency.
I could know what. Fucking, I'll look it up while we're going here.
Okay, I'll keep going.
Keep going with Eakin. 29 years old. Blah blah blah. He was with the Jets.
Okay, yeah, he's been around. He's been around for a second.
Yeah, he was traded by the Golden Knights to the Jets for 2021, and then as a free agent, he signed a 2-year deal with Buffalo.
Okay. Travis Zajac has been with the Devils forever. I think he gets moved. They were saying, I think that's another Devil that'll go, but I have him going to the Coyotes because the Coyotes have no centerman right now. Like even in injuries,
Minnesota.
I mean, Schmaltz is supposed to be their top guy. He's in the fourth line. He's buried. I mean, you go look at their daily faceoff. I don't know how the hell they're like close to the playoffs because their centers are horrible. But I think they could really use a guy like Zajac there. Now, not that he's a top line guy, but God, give me somebody. He could
be higher up in center, and I had him in Minnesota there.
Yeah. John Merrill, another Red Wing. Manageable. I mean, he's making less than $1 million, and he's been playing pretty well for them. I could see Tampa Bay picking him up.
I had him in Tampa as well.
I think because Tampa has almost no cap space, I think Detroit would easily retain the salary and grab like a prospect back or someone that's like an AHL guy with a cap hit just to be like, here you go, picking a guy for Merrill, see you later. Tampa Bay could use a guy like him on the third pair. Ex-Red Wing, Matthias Janmark, who we were talking about the other time with that trade with Eric Cole and Rupe Hintz, right? See, it all connects. We have him at 23. I had Janmark going to the Minnesota Wild because another depth guy.
I have no trade.
No trade. Okay. And then the last two, we got Sam Bennett, Calgary Flames. We've talked about him. I don't think he's going anywhere, but now because Calgary isn't really doing that great, do you see him kind of going somewhere?
I see Toronto trying to get him as a depth guy.
I could see that, and that's in a Canadian division, so you could go now and get him.
Yeah, I was looking at possibly Arizona, but I think just in the Canadian division, especially because Calgary's now sort of just poo. And anyone that likes him is poo. So,
oh boy! Speaking of that, we got a guest coming up. But last but not least, and we'll say at least Dmitry Kulikov. Like whatever, I don't think he's going anywhere. But 25 on the list.
25 Kulikov. Where did I have Vegas possibly?
Yeah,
as a depth guy.
So stay tuned because we have a special guest coming in, and our Calgary Flames correspondent Andrew Hurst is going to.
Yeah.
He's going to come in, and we're actually going to have two bold predictions, one of my trades and one of Bobo's trades. So stick around. So here's our Calgary Flames correspondent, Andrew Hurst. So Hursty, what we did is, and like Hursty's one of the guys that actually listens to our podcast. So like, thanks.
And he's not from Finland.
No, we have one guy. We have one person from Finland that has actually gone to our site. And then what's the other one?
Belarus and Germany.
Yeah,
wow,
if you look at the
big, eh?
Oh, so
yeah. We're international.
Mr. Worldwide.
It was because we did the German intro the other time. People are like, "Oh, that's hockey."
Yeah. That's hockey.
Yeah. Are they going to talk about the Deutsche League?
Talk about David Hasselhoff.
So what we did is we just went through our whole trade deadline list. Like we did one each, and then we kind of averaged it out. We had a top 25. So we actually we're going to do not just the trade that is actually involving the Flames, because we need your expertise, but we're also doing one that Brian has too. And I want to see, because you're the trade king of just horrible trade offers and one good trade offer that we actually made a trade in fantasy. But like they're both
2-for-1s.
There's players
Calgary,
involved.
Though?
Mine is.
Okay.
So we have one question each for you. Okay. So Brian, you go first with your question for Hursty.
How come it looks like your head coach, Daryl Sutter's always asleep?
Asleep?
Yeah. Why does he always look like he's sleeping?
Like he's dopey and sleeping. And
oh, well, he's done like years of hard labor. He needs like another 20 years of sleep, I think. But he's a rough and tough guy. So I don't know. I think he's just tired of the bullshit.
Oh,
fair enough.
Now, what do you think? My thing is, what do you think he's always writing during his press conferences? He's always doodling. Like, what's he doing?
No idea.
No idea? Because like, here's what I think is going on here. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Here's what I think. He's literally getting a question from like a stupid beat writer, and he's probably just doing this. Okay, ready?
You're drawing a middle finger, aren't you?
That's what he's doodling right there. Little middle finger there. Yeah.
That's what. So does Torts do that too?
I think Torts just hates people. Like he just wants to like scratch Roslovic, like bench Line A, just to be like, I don't have time to talk about this shit. It's like, well, then don't do it. What are you doing? Okay, so
he's usually got a couple good quotes though.
He always does. Yeah. So we'll go with
Rangers.
Yeah, we'll go with the Calgary trade first. But first of all, okay, we were pumping up Calgary like 3 weeks ago because I thought Sutter was going to turn them around and they'd make the playoffs. That ain't happening.
Well, they started off 3-0 and then 4-2, and then it all went downhill.
Okay, so what happened? Because I thought they have a good a good roster, but what's going on? Why the hell can't they win?
I don't know. It seems like they stymied the offense when they brought in Daryl, and they were starting to win a couple low scoring games, 2-1, 3-1, and then the top line is just really not like producing as much as they should be. So it's tough to win.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, like looking at the team, they went for Markstrom, right? And I mean, they
on the back end, and
they added some guys, and I'm like, oh, this might kind of put them over the top. I know I chirp you about the Flames all the time, but like, I didn't see this happening. I thought they'd be better.
No, they're the embarrassment of Canada for sure.
Oh, geez. Well,
they don't have 20 guys in COVID either.
Yeah, the Canucks are kind of screwed with that.
Yeah, the Canucks have excuses. Plus, they've played less games and everything.
Would the Flames beat the Utica Comets?
No.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Flip a coin.
We could talk about it. I don't even know who's on their team. Like Jalen Chatfield, is he there? I don't know. Anyway,
I think he's on the taxi squad. I think.
Is he?
DiPietro,
yeah.
Yeah, he's on taxi squad too.
Okay, I have a proposal for the Flames to potentially help them because I don't think you go into a rebuild. I think you have to retool your team. So we were talking with our trade list. What we did is we had predictions on where we thought guys were going to go. So it would be like I don't know, what was an example, Brian? Like
Raquel.
Like Rickard Raquel. We both thought he's going to Carolina. Like just the way that the teams, the teams that were selling, the teams that were buying, what they needed, their cap space. Like we were like perfect fit, Carolina Hurricanes, book it. So if he goes to Carolina, we're smart as shit.
We're pretty much ready to be verified.
What we didn't do is there was a few guys where I have an idea of where these guys are going to go. There's a big trade with the Calgary Flames and the Buffalo Sabres. Okay. So I think actually
off season,
it's going to be off season. So I actually think I have it. We can share screen here. If I can pull it up, that's Facebook.
Oh, there you go. Facebook.
Oh, there it was. Where'd it go? There it
Trade
is.
machine.
Trade machine. Get it in here. Boom. Okay. There's the trade right here up in the top. So we got Jack Eichel and Rasmus Ristolainen going to Calgary. Going back the other way, you've got Michael Backlund, Sam Bennett, Johnny Gaudreau, Jacob Pelche, second round pick. So that's a big trade. That's a Hursty trade, right? Like that's literally the definition of a Hursty trade, just like your team for my team. I know you do. That's why I propose it. I'm not going to give you some guy for a fourth round pick. That's boring, right?
4 or 5 guys. Let's do it.
Here's the thing.
Fuck it.
This is probably a lot. Now you're going to see down here, Ristolainen retain 10% salary. Now I did this trade based on I thought just going, they're not going to make any other moves. That's what I'm just assuming. They're going to, obviously, but I did the 10 so that would fit in the cap space, right? Because the cap space here for the Flames after is 268. For the Sabres, it's almost $1 million.
Okay.
So it works out. But if it was 0, Calgary would be over the cap. So Eichel still has like 6 years left. Ristolainen has another year after this year. So they're both under contract. You look at the Flames, you know, Johnny Gaudreau, I think what was he on our list, right? Like number 5 or 6 available.
Gaudreau, we had him at 10.
We had him at 10. Okay. But we both kind of thought he's going in the offseason. He's going to go at the deadline. If they're going to do something with him, you have to get a guy back. You have to get a guy back.
Yeah.
So, and then Bennett, obviously it's been documented, like he's probably going to get moved. And then
I think Backlund, Sutter probably likes Bennett though.
That's what we thought.
He's kind of like his definition of a player, right? So
right.
That would be interesting, that one.
Yeah. Well, the thing too is like Eichel's hurt, but you're giving up Pelche, who's one of your top prospects. We broke that down a few weeks ago. Second round pick. Like Backlund is in there because of the cap hit. And that's something where I think obviously he's got a no trade, but that's the only workaround is like he might be like, no, I'm not going. Then you got to find a different way, because a lot of the guys on the Flames that have no trade clauses are the guys you want to move. You know, the guys that don't have them are the ones that are your core, Kachuk and you know, Gaudreau and those guys. The only other guy that I thought maybe you could put in there other than Backlund if he declined would be like Hanifin, because of his cap hit. But I don't know. Like, what do you think of that trade?
I like it a lot. I think they definitely need like a changing of the core players, right? It's just not working. It's been first round or every other year they'll make playoffs and then they won't make it, or if they do make it, it's a round and out. So I mean, you're in no man's land with the middle, right? You're not getting a high pick.
So you don't think they don't need to rebuild though?
That's the thing. I don't think Eichel would want to be there if they were rebuilding.
Well,
it would be like another
you wouldn't trade for him. You wouldn't trade for him if you're rebuilding. Yeah. Exactly. So you would say, like, I'm just saying now, not even thinking of this trade, Calgary as they are now, you don't blow it up. You do this, right?
I think you got to,
something like this.
Either Johnny or Monty, one of the guys I think has to go this off season.
Do you think Monahan
just to shake it up?
Do you think Monahan would get more than Gaudreau?
Yeah, who has more trade value?
I would say Johnny probably, just based off his track record. Yeah,
because I think something like in this trade, you could easily take out Gaudreau, put in Monahan, and I think that technically you wouldn't have to put in that second round pick. Maybe that's just how I look at it. I look at it and go like, I like Monahan because he's a center, and he's been having a really good year too.
But he also has modified no trade.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is you can trade Gaudreau easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Just from watching Monahan, like if he's not scoring, he's not doing a lot. So
I think that's a guy they want to keep though. You want to hear an interesting stat about Sean Monahan? Sure. So I don't know if you might know this. Boring Sean Monahan, dude. I remember that what Twitter was going. That was great. No, Sean Monahan in his draft year, he has the most points out of anybody in that draft.
Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't who was in that draft?
Pretty sure it was McKinnon.
McKinnon's got to have more now, no?
I think he's because he's been hurt or something. I don't know, but
actually, I think Monahan did something like that the other day.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it's close, but like Monahan has the most points. Weird, but anyway, So this is a trade that I thought would maybe work, because then you're looking at, like, if we're just going with this trade now, I actually think another thing too is if you changed Pelche and a second round pick to just straight up Juuso Välimäki, would you still do the trade? So it would be Backlund. Backlund, Bennett, Gaudreau, Välimäki for those two guys.
I'd be more hesitant to give up on him already. He seems like it could be a 1-2 defenseman on the team. Moving forward, I would more likely do this trade. And I also I think everything's on the table if you're getting Eichel and you're doing a retool instead of a rebuild. Even Kachuk, I would say would be available.
Really? Yeah. What about
if you? So.
What if Buffalo said, you know what? No, we want a first round pick instead of the second. Do you do it?
2021 first, or
instead of the second, you take a first rounder, and they're probably gonna
navigate around that,
right? Because that's the thing, is they're gonna ask for something like
top five. Yeah. If
but
it
here's
was
the
2022,
thing.
maybe I do it.
So now here, I'm gonna get in your brain a little here. Okay, if you do this trade though, because you just said it might be top five, then why are you making that trade? You wouldn't. If you're making this trade, you're thinking, I'm going to be a lot better now. I've got Eichel, I've got Ristolainen. I mean, we're going to plug some holes. We're going to move on, and we're going to be way better next year, right? You're assuming the wheels fall off and this doesn't work. So then you just wouldn't do the trade if you're the GM, right? So if this works, you're looking good. I'll give up my first then.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing though. I think Calgary's at the point right now where I don't know if I want Tree Living making the trades anymore. I think he would be the next one to go.
Well,
like he's already had 3 or 4 or 5 coaches, right?
And it's your teams that you've been putting together, right? So he's going, wow, these guys are better than the coaches are doing. But I mean, I look at it and I go, I kind of do like how I put it, but then at the same time, you have to go at one point, okay, we got to get a different mind in here to make a different move. Do you think he would make a trade like that? I don't think he would.
I don't think he has the guts,
like the boldness.
Yeah.
Cojones.
I think that's what you need to shake up the core. But I don't know if I'd want him making the deals.
But hey, at the end of the day, you'd end up with Jack Eichel, which would be pretty sweet. Which would be
for sure.
Instant first line guy. Like Backlund, I think he basically replace Backlund, right? You'd have Eichel and Monahan down the middle. You'd have obviously Bennett is kind of not falling out of favor. Goudreau, I mean, whatever. But and then like you said, we got some guys coming. You give up on Pelche, but you still got Connor Zary coming. You've got Valimaki on defense. So think about the D, man. Like, geez, you'd have Giordano, Anderson, Ristolainen, Hanifin, Tanev, Valimaki.
Yeah,
dude,
that's crazy.
That'd be great. And then you got Markstrom as your goalie. So
I think with
and then honestly, buy out Lucic too. Buy him out, and then you got some cap space.
Losing those guys opens up more roles for Dubé and Mangiapane. We'll probably get more ice time. So,
and I think I love Mangiapane. Just like Lou loves
hard worker. He's good.
Just like Lou loves Mangiapane. He's up in Blue Mountain. Okay, Brian, you want me to actually put up your trade here?
Yeah.
I can reset here, I think.
Vancouver trade?
No. The trade I actually have is
okay, let's go with the teams first. I'll pick the teams.
The first team is going to be Columbus.
Okay, we got the Columbus Blue Jackets, and then we got team 2
as the New York Islanders.
Okay.
This is definitely a line A trade, eh?
Absolutely.
All right. So who's going from Columbus?
So Columbus, it's going to be Max Domi and Patrick Laine.
Okay, Max Domi and Patrick Laine. I got to find this clown.
You got to go alphabetical order.
Thanks, Brian.
That's why I'm here.
All right, New York Islanders. What are they giving up?
You're giving up first at the draft picks. You're giving up a 2021 second round pick. So Colorado pick, and that 2022 first.
Okay.
And players, you're going to be going with Josh Bailey.
Josh Bailey. There he is. Yep.
Kiefer Bellows.
Okay.
Then Oliver Wahlstrom.
All right. So that's your trade here. So now this is for off-season or trade deadline?
I had it going as trade deadline.
I wonder if I did that and it would screw it up. I just want to see for the cap, right? I mean, it works for the cap. Columbus is going to have a ton of space left. Yeah, wow. Okay, so I actually have to look at this real quick because, like, let's ask Hursty. He's the trade king.
Yeah, trade king here.
First of all,
I think,
would this happen, or is someone getting fleeced here?
I don't think the Islanders would do that. It's too much of their future. Wahlstrom's just starting to play really well. He's young. So is Kiefer Bellows. And then a first round pick.
It's a lot.
I don't know. Line A is he's hit or miss, right? He's either scoring a bunch or he's not doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
He's very streaky.
I was talking with Brian about this trade, and I kind of went, well, you know, yeah, I agree with you on Wahlstrom. I think, you know, he's just kind of coming into his own. You know, I asked Brian, well, I'll ask him right now, like, is Patrick Laine a fit with John Tortorella?
And then that's where I said no.
No. Okay. So then my flip side to this would be, how would the Islanders be any better with Barry Trotz? That's a defensive system. You know, like, think about a guy like Matt Barzal, right? As much as Lou hates Matt Barzal, the guy's awesome. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if they unleashed him and he was on a team like Washington and he could just do whatever he wanted and not have to worry about defense? He got 110 points. Like, the guy's incredible. His freaking quads are huge.
Yeah, I think Laine would excel on a team like Colorado or like Vegas or Winnipeg.
Or what? Yes. Colorado's interesting because, like, and this is where it's nice to dick around with this. Yeah. But, like, I agree with Bailey because he that's your cap hit. That's a guy you move. Like,
he's a good player. Yeah.
What if you did this? What about now? What if you take out Wahlstrom? You go Bailey, Bellows, and that.
Definitely closer, I would say.
I think that's a little more reasonable because I think, and the one thing I think with Brian, I think maybe you're valuing Domi more than I would maybe, because you were valuing him as like a top 6 guy. I value him as a third line guy.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking him as that second line center. But like you said, for you see him as that third line.
Hursty, what do you think? What about like Max Domi? He's been bouncing around. Do you think he's like a top 6 guy, or is he just like a third line center? Or he's a poor man's second line center?
I'd say on a good team, ideally you want him on your third line.
Okay. I don't think the second round pick's a big deal. Bellows is a top guy, but I mean, you got to give up something to get something, right?
Yeah, that's what I was.
It might need a little more from the Islanders' end, but not as much as Wahlstrom, maybe.
Yeah, I think they would probably go, no, we'll give you someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, Colorado would be interesting too. I actually kind of want to dick around with that real quick just to see what we would get here.
Screw it.
Let's go. Let's go to the Avalanche and see. Okay, so now they don't have a lot of draft picks, but don't they have like a boatload of cap space? We'll say trade deadline.
They had 3.3 mil when we did our thing last time.
Okay, so now if I'm them, I don't want Max Domi, so see ya.
No, yeah, you're looking
at. So I just want Laine. So who do we give up here? We can go cap hit because we're gonna have to give up something to get something, I think. Well, you're not gonna give up any of these guys. You could throw in Brandon Saad, maybe.
I thought about that, yeah.
He's got a cap hit on him, but he's got a no trade clause.
And that was the one thing I was looking at too with the Islanders was
Donskoy, maybe. I think Donskoy might be the guy. Let's throw him in there just to see, like, cap hits. Oh, dude, they got tons. They don't even need to give up him. Dude, they've got
Yeah, I think they're going for it. They would throw in their first
here,
for sure.
Yeah, take it.
Else.
I'll give you him, and then I don't know who their top prospects are, but like, if you go with that works.
Take a look here.
Just taking on Laine's cap hit, because his cap hit's only 5 mil. Because I think did Winnipeg retain, or is that just for the trade deadline? That might be trade deadline.
I'm not sure. I know they drafted Newhook last year. It
says Colorado has 9.2 mil. Yeah, if you're Columbus, do you go for him?
Colorado's top 5 are
you go for him or Connor Timmins is good on defense.
Yeah, they're not going to give up.
This is their third prospect. Alex Newhook's their second.
They're not giving up Byron.
No, probably not.
And then goalie Justice Anunen.
Okay, I don't know. What about this? Is that like a deal that you would do? Like Colorado would do that. Would Columbus do that?
I think you add Timmins and they would do it.
Yeah. See, I don't really know if this, like, what this Timmins guy, but
I'm not a big line.
So in 40 games,
so
in 40 games in the AHL last year, Timmins had 27 points.
It's pretty good. But he's one of their top prospects?
He's their third prospect. Well, using this article from NHL.com from November.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Like for Colorado, we'd have to bring in Zinger. Get him in on it. But yeah, like get Laine, like he would thrive in a
in a Colorado.
Yeah, like Colorado.
He needs like a good, power play and a good team off the rush, right? To let that shot go.
Yeah. So yeah, that was our 2 trades. We wanted to kind of get your take on it because you're the trade guy and the Calgary guy. So
not bad.
Yeah, man. Hey, if anything happens with the Flames, trade deadline, who knows? Maybe we need a guest spot from Hursty on trade deadline if something happens. We'll get you in there.
Available.
Yeah,
sounds
love it,
good.
buddy. Thanks for coming on.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Love it. Yeah, we'll do it again.
Your check's in the mail.
It's not much. See you, buddy.
See ya.
All right, so we want to thank Hursty for coming on, giving us his we'll say expertise.
Do we really want to thank him?
You said checks in the mail. I mean, what are you giving him? Like Monopoly money or what?
Last year's roll up the rim.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, it was kind of fun. It's fun to have people coming on and just get like a different perspective from just more than us 2 dummies, right?
Absolutely. It's just nice to have that extra. Just talk some hockey with the boys, right?
So before we leave, Kyle's got some gloating to do. Buschy is going to start some gloating here, okay?
Little bit of gloats.
I just saw this on Twitter, okay? And it was like yesterday. I was like, wow, like this is interesting. Let's
a little ray of sunshine for you.
We'll bring it up. Boom.
Oh, you are bringing it up? Okay, yeah. I got it up here too.
Yeah. Craig Button's top 75. He looks like the mayor from Whoville. Okay, there he is. Okay, and look at who's at the top. Mo Seider, number 1.
Do you have the article above that or no?
Oh yeah.
Okay, go up a little bit because you're asking me right before, or go down a little bit. It's like the second last paragraph.
Paragraph.
You're asking me if there were any Canucks on there. Keep going. There you go.
Todd goals in 50. Is he even gonna come over? Like, I don't know, man.
Fuck a final, man. Like,
but like, look at 2 Red Wings in the top 3, Seider and Raymond, and then Caulfield.
Seider, I like that pick in Detroit. Like when they made that pick
at the time, I was like, whoa. Like even when he got drafted, he's like, what? Yeah. Like he's like, whoa. Like, are you kidding?
Fox?
Yeah.
Was ist dies?
Was ist da? Was ist los? But I don't know. I thought it was interesting because I saw it, and I mean, it shows they're 2020, right? Like Seider was 25, Raymond obviously not ranked because he wasn't drafted yet. But like, looking at some of the guys here that actually like I'm looking, like
Quentin Byfield. He's been in the sort of thing lately. Peyton Krebs. He's been
like Denisenko here from Florida was number 2 last year. Sandin on the Leafs was 6. That's all Leafs fans are talking about is Rasmus Sandin. I'm like, okay, well,
Cole
he's 21. He'll get there.
There we go.
There's Newhook, right? We just went through with the trade.
Talked things about Newhook there.
Rossi and Zary with Calgary. So
Jack Duggan there, 46 up to 34.
JJ Paterka, a little German guy there.
Connor McMichael.
Yep, there's Pelletier, right?
Yeah.
Berggren, Detroit, and that's another guy who's been lighting up, SHL, which is really good.
Podkolzin there. 14, then he drops to 50 because, like I said, is he going to come over? Who knows?
Yeah, if he's just played in the KHL and just stay home, right?
Say fuck it and make money there. And
exactly. So I just wanted to kind of bring that up because I was like, oh my God, I don't think I've ever seen this for the Red Wings, ever having top guys because they've never been a prospect or type of organization. It's always been
I've always known them as buyers. So
well, kind of me too. So this is all new territory in the last few years for me as a fan, but
at least you got the right GM sort of leading you in the right direction now, right?
Yeah, you hope so. So I mean, that looks pretty good because he drafted both those guys. Those were his first 2 picks.
And there you go.
I mean, Zadina was a Holland pick, but I still like him. But yeah, that's pretty good, both your guys. So anyway, so that's 6 episodes in the book now.
6 episodes, and this is like I said, the last one before deadline.
Yeah, and again, like we've got some fun things.
I have no plans on. I don't plan on like we don't have much to talk about on Saturday if we did record one. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, not a ton. There was some stuff that we just kind of glossed over a few of them, but we still like really doing the breakdowns of a team. We really like doing the draft breakdown. The looking back at an old draft was fun. So we might do that every time. Just go through what maybe happened that week and
have a little fun thing there. And then the one thing that we're going to post on the website here is, we're going to try to get it up there, was how we made our own big board. And we sort of explained it earlier, but we'll post on the actual chart.
It's just an Excel sheet that kind of just had the buyers, their cap hits, what they needed, and then the players that were available from the sellers, right? So we can post that up and just kind of go like, hey, here's our proof before the trade deadline. I mean, obviously we did it right here, but to have all the teams, like we picked one team that they thought we were going to go to. Some of the guys have 3 or 4 teams that they might go to that looks like
and I think we put that too, like where possible, like for these guys where they might be fits in a few places, but it should be interesting. Like I said, we're 1 week away. This time next week, deals the final deals will be done, and there may be a couple things trickling in at the end of it, because you know how paperwork is, and
we're gonna be there the whole time. We're going to be chilling, watching this the whole time, and I'm looking forward to it, because, I mean, we're going to have to I only have 1 beer in the fridge.
Well,
we're going to have to restock it.
Only less than 5 minutes from your place, so.
Bam, we're going to do it. So, anyway, stay tuned for that. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, healthyscratch.ca. TikTok. We got some TikToks. I actually have 44 likes on one of them.
There you go. Yeah.
The other ones only have 2. I don't know. Like it's the one
today. So
it's the one me biking and just bitching about the Red Wings. It was the referees. They were doing like a goaltender interference call. The Forsberg one we talked about in episode 3.
Well, just for shits and giggles, you're up to 150 something views on your.
Oh, is it views? Is that what it is?
Well, 44 likes.
Yeah.
1 like, 0 likes, 0 likes. But views,
content, boys. This is all you
first view when you have like 692 views. And
are you kidding? See, Letourneau was right about TikTok, man.
You can't see that.
I can't see it.
But then that was my first one. Oh God, it just shows a Gertie shaking his ass.
Yeah, I love Gertie. Anyway, so we got all that coming, and I mean, we'll probably have that pod posted on the night of the trade deadline. I'd say once we get it all edited and put together.
Yeah, so we'll get it going during the day. You might do some live reactions on TikTok on that day.
Follow us on the TikTok and probably on Twitter.
Twitter's
Facebook probably not. Twitter we'll post some of the trades.
Twitter will be the big thing. Facebook maybe it's a huge deal. But yeah, might even do a little YouTube lives. We'll see.
It's all on the table, man.
We do what we want when we want.
That's how it goes. So anyway. Until next time. Wait a minute.
So we put out the post on Facebooks. I don't know if Twitter or not, but we got some Healthy Scratch, some stickers available now.
Yeah, throw them on your toolbox or your laptop, whatever you want.
There
you go. It's on there. It's a collage. So. It's funny because we do have a couple things like just for us, but I think we got some hats coming, some mugs maybe.
Some mugs coming. They are ordered. They're coming in.
So you want to sip your coffee and just look at that awesome powder blue.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do, man.
Well, I didn't get that logo on the mug.
It's powder blue. The whole thing is powder blue. What did you do? Did you get the old one from that Hursty was talking about, the First Lady logo? Is that what you did? I can't see that. What is this? Logo. No, it's not that one. No. It's the nice one. It's this one with the panther and the big sack on him.
We got Buddy there. So just some fun stuff out we have coming out. If you're interested,
we're gonna have to figure that all out. Yeah, just less.
Message us. Yeah, that's how we're gonna do it right now. Yeah. If you're listening in another country like Finland, Belarus, Germany, US.
We had a listener there. It was kind of funny.
It was pretty cool. So
look at the analytics. It's interesting.
Appreciate all that fun stuff. That's enough rambling out of my yip.
I'm good to go, man. So until the trade deadline.
Till next week.
You guys later. Until next week, we'll be here.
All right. Cheers, not chairs.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya.